I want to be really clear about why the greedy liars on Wall Street, the global oligarchy, what they do is they attack programs that work, programs that prove that together we can do things that we can't do on our own, that the private market cannot do. Social Security works. Medicare works. Medicaid works. Public education works. And that's what our next guest, Steve Zimmer, he's the president of the LA Unified School District Board of Education, and he's fighting for public education because it works. And that has drawn the attention of some plutocrats, some billionaires who want to destroy anything that works. So I was really excited to get to talk to Steve about what's going on in your district right now. So Steve Zimmer, thanks so much for joining us on the Thom Hartmann Program. I need to try that again and say, Steve, thanks for joining us on the Thom Hartmann Program.
Yeah, good morning. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Steve, I was talking about how, you fight for public education because it works. And that puts you kind of at odds with some billionaires, some plutocrats who basically want to destroy systems that work because that is how they profit. Tell us a little bit about what's going on right now in your district. You're in a race for re-election of your position, right?
Yeah. The election's tomorrow here in Los Angeles, and I appreciate you starting with public education is working. We have really worked together with our entire LA Unified School District family here over the past, really 10 years to get to better in our public schools, and we haven't done it by beating teachers up. We haven't done it by turning folks against each other. We've really done it in a very collaborative model. These were big fights. Don't get me wrong. The forces of conflict and confrontation and blame and privatization have been at this for a while, trying to destroy this district. But we really built a great coalition to fight back, and we see some real results. We see graduation rates, the highest they've ever been in history. We see a renaissance in arts education, a turning away from an over-reliance on standardized test scores. We see suspension rates down, attendance rates up. There's some very, very strong indicators. Don't get me wrong, we have a long way to go, but we're going down this difficult road together. So that's caused the folks who want to privatize this district, particularly Eli Broad and Richard Riordan and the Walton Foundation, which is the Walmart family, have invested literally millions of dollars to try and have more and more of Los Angeles Unified School District schools turn over to charters or open new charters. And so that's really the battleground for tomorrow's election, whether we will become a charterized district or whether we will stay a public school district. And so well over $5 million already has poured into this race, the most expensive school board race in the history of the country. And really what's on the line is kind of this fight for the soul of public education.
So Steve Zimmer, who is facing election tomorrow in L.A., so anyone listening in L.A. or watching in L.A., take note. This is the frontline battle against the global oligarchs. This is the resistance. What you do to resist the global oligarchs, the greedy liars on Wall Street who are calling the tune, is you go out and you make your voice heard and you fight for people who are fighting for the people. That's what the resistance is all about. Steve, I want to ask you, because spending millions of dollars on a school board race, it seems like, well, why, or something like that. But it's not spending it, right? In many ways, you could see this like the same way that Davos. This is actually $5 million spent to try to get billions of dollars in a privatized, corporatized, charterized system.
Yeah, I mean, everybody should be very clear. And let me also say, not all charter schools are bad. There are some great charter schools. Charter schools were supposed to be, methods of innovation and incubators for change. And when charter schools do that, they're great. But that's not what this election is about. This election is about our budget. And we have a $7.9 billion operating budget in Los Angeles Unified School District. Well over, even with declining enrollment, well over 650,000 students. There's, with a budget that's that big, obviously there are a lot of contracts, there are a lot of folks, there are a lot of things that the deregulators and the privatizers would like to get their hands on. And what I say, about how I approach my work is I make instructional decisions and operational decisions about our school district as if the kids that these were kids in my classroom, and I also make decisions about our employees as if there were. I make decisions about our employees as if, it was my mom and dad working in our cafeteria or cleaning our classrooms. So that's how we approach our process. And we take not only the education of all children very, very seriously and their dreams very seriously, we also take our workforce very seriously. We were one of the first in the nation to set a $15 an hour minimum wage for all employees and make sure that all employees have health benefits and that all employees are protected under union contracts. And that's very, very unpopular with the ultra-rich and the privatizers. And but, again, Tom, I say, this is really about what we would want for our own family, what we would want not only for our kids, but also for our parents or our brothers and sisters.
So Steve Zimmer, who is running for re-election, the LA Unified School District Board of Education, the election is tomorrow. And Steve Zimmer, when I've read about your race here, it's somewhat like the idea of fighting for everybody in the district instead of just some people. And that seems to be the razor's edge that cuts these two camps, right? That there is one camp that basically says, look, we can be much more profitable. They'll use all sorts of corporate lingo. But really what they're saying is basically we have to just focus on some and not everybody. It's basically not everybody deserves an education. Not everybody deserves to be fought for. Where what you're saying is that's not what our public education system is about. We win when we all are in it together. When you take care of the frontline employees, when you treat them like family, they will excel and thrive in their jobs, and their jobs is educating our children. So tell me a little bit about that philosophy of everyone together.
Sure. I think the easiest way to explain it is this, that the soul and the ideal of public education is that we serve every child that comes to the schoolhouse door, not some kids, but all kids, and that all dreams, not some dreams, are in our grasp as we work with children from families from literally all over the world here in Los Angeles. And that dream that families bring to the schoolhouse door is not any different from the dream that my grandmother brought to the schoolhouse door for my mom and my uncle herself, as coming from a family of immigrants from a monolingual Yiddish-speaking family with an American dream. And those dreams still today come to our schoolhouse door. And the question that's on the line in this election, which is really a tipping point election for public education across the country is, do we still hold true to that ideal?
So Steve, in the final 30 seconds here,
sure,
tell our listeners where they can find out more information, where they can take action to fight for public education, to fight for valuing everyone, not only some people, but fighting for everyone. Steve Zimmer running for re-election tomorrow, LA Unified School District Board of Education. Where can our listeners find more information?
Sure. It's a long one, but it's a good one. SteveZimmerForSchoolBoard.com and ZIMMER, and everything that they would need to even get involved in the last 24 hours is on that website. And I just appreciate the chance to talk about the dreams of all children to your listeners, and I know that with your voice and their voice, we will be the resistance tomorrow and moving forward.
Steve Zimmer, thank you so much for joining us on the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Thom Hartmann, and we will be right back after this.